Welcome, everybody. My name's Corey, and this is Yin Yoga. If you're unfamiliar with Yin practice, Yin focuses a little bit more on getting into your connective tissue, your fascia, and your ligaments. It's a much slower practice. We try to disengage our muscles as much as possible. So try to let go and think of your muscles as like the protective big brother to your baby sister connective tissue. And if your muscles sense pain, then they tend to lock up, right? And they prevent you from getting into those deeper areas of your connective tissue, which are very hard to stretch out. So we're going to hold poses for longer than you typically do in a vinyasa class, anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And you want to try to find that edge where you're feeling something. It may not necessarily be comfortable, but it's not necessarily painful either, and you'll know it when you feel it. It's that edge of sensation, and when you get to that edge, you want to hold for as long as possible. And then if your edge begins to recede and you can go deeper, then by all means go deeper, but try to hold still for as long as possible. So we're going to begin today as I'm sitting now, just in an easy seated pose, Sukhasana. Crisscross your legs, sit up nice and tall. Lengthen out your spine, and you can either rest your arms on your inner thighs or lay your hands in your lap with your palms facing upwards. And close your eyes down, try to relax your shoulders, relax your entire upper body. See if you're curving forwards, if your shoulders are tight, try to let them go. See if you can find a little more length in your neck. Lift your chin up away from your chest. And as you close your eyes down, start to tune into your body and tune into your breathing. And throughout our Yin practice, we'll maintain a natural breathing rhythm. So whatever your normal breath is, you want to try to hold that. But in order to find that, we'll just start by resetting. So first take a deep breath in through your nose. And then an open mouth exhale. Feel free to lift your shoulders up towards your ears as you breathe in. And then as you open mouth exhale, let your shoulders come down and relax. And one more time, inhale. Maybe pause and hold at the top for 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. Let your breath normalize. Just let it fall into its own natural steady pace as if you're engaged in a really good book or binging something really entertaining on Netflix. And as your body settles, let your mind start to settle. I feel like during this time, while we're all quarantined and we're all hearing all the news updates and everything that's happening around us, we may be stuck in our homes or isolated, but our minds are racing and bouncing from one thing to the next. My intention to share with you through practice today is, can you cultivate patience? Can you use your body and your asana practice through your Yin Yoga to settle and soothe your mind? Keep Keep your breathing rhythm natural and steady, and slowly you can open your eyes and send your legs out in front of you into caterpillar. Now, take your rolled up blanket or any other prop that allows you to slide it underneath your knees and give yourself a little bit of support. And sit up nice and tall. If you like, you can also sit on your block or on your pillow or your cushion, whatever else you have. But try to lengthen out your spine, stack your shoulders over your hips, breathe in. And then as you exhale, start to fold over your legs. Keep your back straight as long as possible. And then once you come down and it starts to round, then you can go ahead and let it round. Keeping it straight, you're engaging your core a little bit more. So as you come down and you find that natural curvature in your spine, go ahead and start to let that take control. Let gravity take control. And just let go. As you make your way down, if you want to place your head on something, if you have your block or your cushion, then you can use that to stack up on your legs. You don't have to bring your head down on top of anything. It's just an option that helps make it feel a little bit more comfortable. If you're okay with just hanging out in space here, then you can do that. As I said, we're going to be holding poses anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. So I'm going to be occasionally looking up and glancing at my watch. Make sure that we're on track. But don't mind me looking at my watch. Try to stay and hold in your pose. And pay attention to the sensations, the feelings that start to arise, both in your body and in your mind. Cultivating patience through your body, through the poses of your yoga practice. This is what yoga is all about, a mind-body connection, whatever yoga practice you happen to be in. Your body has a direct impact and influence on how you feel and what you think. And vice versa. It's not hard to imagine when you see somebody with their shoulders slumped, maybe their head hung low walking down the street. You might imagine that they're sad or depressed or maybe just lost in thought. Somebody whose chest is lifted and walking tall, you assume is proud, confident. As your chest starts to heavy here and your upper body gets closer and closer towards your legs, if you're using a prop, then you can go ahead and lower it down into a smaller setting perhaps, or maybe remove it altogether. Whatever's right for you. This is a nice, gentle, passive hamstring stretch, good for the backs of your legs. And also getting into all those ligaments on the outsides and the backs of your knees. Take one more breath in here. And one more breath out. And on your next inhale, slowly rise up. Take your time coming out of every pose that we get into. Moving very, very slow with as little muscle engagement as possible. Now slide your rolled up blanket out from underneath your knees. Bring your hands behind you and just for a moment take a back bend. Let it feel good. Lift your chest up, maybe push your palms down behind you. Keep your legs extended long. Maybe tilt your head back. Maybe slightly bend your elbows if that feels good. Squeeze your shoulders together. Just a nice little counter stretch. And come back up. You're going to take your right leg and bend it back behind you. Bring your right heel to your right glute. And then your left heel to your left glute. And this is setting up your deer pose. If you're having any left knee issues, coincidentally I actually happen to be having some right now, you can slide a block underneath your left knee. It will help it feel a little bit better. You can also use your cushion if that helps. And try to sit up nice and tall. And then take your rolled up blanket and lay it over to your left side, so it's in line with your left hip. And sit up nice and tall. If you want, you can stack your cushion on top of your bolster or maybe underneath it. It might be a little bit easier that way, if you happen to have all of those things. Either way, sit up tall. And then twist to your left side, rotate towards your bolster or whatever props you have to your left. Draw your left shoulder back. If you've been to my class before, then you know that this is one of my absolute favorite things to do. And stay lifted here, or on your exhale, start to walk your hands forwards. And fold yourself over your little makeshift landing strip. Now, if you fold over and you come down, you can bring your chin to your bolster. If there's room for you to breathe, you can lay your forehead down. Or, if it's better for you, lay one cheek down, and I'll let you know when to switch sides. Not only is this good for your hips and your legs, but also giving a nice gentle twist in your torso. Getting into your lower abdomen. This is an area that can be very grounding. Help you slow down and find that patience that you seek. If you fold it over and you laid one cheek down, then go ahead and switch sides now. If you fold it down or if you're lifted, try to relax your shoulders. Again, relax your upper body, let go. Where are you holding on to tension that you don't need to be? Stay here for about 3 more breaths. And after your 3rd breath, on an inhale, if you fold it over, gently lift yourself up. Again, as little muscle engagement as possible. Try to continue that sensation, that feeling of letting go. Turn back to the front. All right. Now, if you have a block underneath your left knee, go ahead and take that out. Then send your left leg out in front of you. And take that rolled up blanket, bring it underneath your left knee. And your right leg is going to go over your left leg, stacking your right knee on top of your left knee. Half shoelace. So pull your right heel towards your left glute. And the prop underneath your left knee is kind of important. We're going to be folding over in a second, so you don't want to push your left knee in a way that it doesn't want to bend, right? You don't want to put too much pressure down onto the ground on top of your left knee, so have something underneath there for support. And then you can take your cushion or your block and keep it close by, breathe in. And as you fold over your legs, and breathe out. Now, if your forehead makes it down to your right knee, that's great. You're flexible this morning. If not, that's okay too. You can use one of your props on top of your right leg, and this is where the prop underneath your left knee comes in handy, so that you're not really pushing down on that left leg. Now, if you don't have enough props, or if it just feels better for you, you can stack your fists on top of your right knee and bring your head down on top of that. It's kind of something nice to do with your hands, if nothing else. And again, relax your shoulders, relax any tension that you have anywhere in your body that's not serving this pose. Your Yin practice allows you to slow down so much that you can really pay attention to what's happening in your body. You can really pay attention to what's happening in your mind and in your heart. It may not be comfortable. It may not be easy. But eventually it becomes manageable. Eventually maybe it does become comfortable. continue to hold here, folding over. I want to make sure that we're still connected here. I'm seeing a message on the screen. Keep breathing here. Stay for about 5 more breaths. And then on your next inhale, slowly, very gently rise up. Come out of your pose. Then take your right leg off of your left and slide your bolster over to your right side. Now that's going to go in line with your right hip. Your right knee is going to stay in front of you, so bend that back down, this time bringing your heel towards your left glute. And bend your left knee back, bringing your left heel towards your left glute. And setting up your deer pose on this side. If you had your stack of props on the left, then you can do the same thing on your right. It may not feel the same, and you may not feel like folding over on this side. It's totally up to you. Listen to your body. Set up your pose, find length. And if you need to fidget around to adjust to make sure that you can hold for a long time, then go ahead and do that now. Every pose that we get into, you want to fidget in the beginning. Get it all out so that you can hold for as long as possible afterwards. Once your spine is nice and tall, you can rotate towards your right. Frame your props or your mat with your hands. And as you twist from your midsection, not the pressure of your hands, not your arm strength, jacking your right shoulder back, and just gently turning towards the right. If that's not very much for you today, then it's not very much for you today, and that's it. And that's okay. Once you twist, if you want to stay lifted, stay upright, then you can, or same as the other side, walk your hands forwards and fold over your bolster, your blanket, your landing strip, whatever you've got. And lay your chin down, your forehead down, one cheek or the other, and I'll let you know when to switch sides. As you stay here and hold, any urges to move or to adjust or to change something up, again, to fidget, if anything like that starts to arise, then try to back off and ask yourself why. Why do you feel the need to move? Why are you fidgety? And do you have to? If it's because your edge is receding, again, if it's because you're getting deeper into your pose, then that's one thing. But otherwise, can you have the patience to sit as still as possible and just breathe? If you laid one cheek down, go ahead and switch sides. And when you do, pay attention to anything that comes up, not only in your neck and your shoulders, but also in your lower back and your lumbar spine. Even though you're turning up here, you may feel it down here. Not only is your mind and your body connected, but your entire body is connected. It's all one long chain, and changing one thing, adjusting one link, will affect the rest. So see what comes up, and if you switch sides and it's just totally not right for you, then you don't have to switch sides. Stay here for about 3 more breaths. And after your 3rd breath, on an inhale, come up, rising gently out of your pose, and then turn back to the front. All right, now this time, your right leg is going to go out in front of you. So move very, very slow again. Every pose, every transition you want to take very, very easily. Your IT bands, your fascia, all these major ligaments, joints in your bottom half, they tend to remember things really, really well. And so they can get sticky after holding for a while. So slide your bolster underneath your right knee, or your block, or your pillow, whatever you have, something underneath your right knee. And then your left knee folds over on top. Now, As you come into your half shoelace, again, you can keep your other props close by to fold down on top of. If you're having leg issues, you might prop up your thigh using another prop, using your block maybe or a book, if that's not an issue. Or if you are okay with a little bit of sensation down there, and see what happens as you stack your left knee on top of your right. Sit up nice and tall. Breathe in. And then slowly exhale as you fold forwards. Let your forehead come down to your left knee, and if it doesn't make contact, that's okay. If it does, that's great. And if you need something there, you've got another prop, or use your hands, stack your fists. If you're not using your hands, then relax your arms. Just let them fall either at your sides, on top of the blanket, wherever. They're just disengaged, just letting go. As you go deeper and deeper into stillness, see if you can bring that same stillness into your mind, into your heart, that same patience that you're having with your body now. Find it in your mind. Can you guys see me okay? Aaron, I can see you. Give me a wave if you see me. All right. Sit tight, everybody. Keep holding in your half shoelace. We've got about another minute here. take about 3 more breaths. And on your next inhale, slowly come up, rising out of your pose. Cool. All right, take your left leg off of your right very slowly again, gently remove it. Remove the bolster out from underneath your right leg. Send both legs out in front of you once again. We're going to take another counter stretch. Hands back behind you. Lift your heart. Raise your chest. Just a subtle back bend here. Maybe walk your hands back further this time if that feels good. Maybe bend your elbows a little bit more if you need to. Walk your hands back up. You're gonna bend your right knee in front of you, and if you're not facing the top edge of your mat, go ahead and do that now. Setting up your swan pose, your right leg is gonna bend in front and then send your left leg back behind you. Once you get here, if you want to slide your pillow underneath your hips, then you can do that. If you've got a couple of blocks, then place one underneath your right hip and one underneath your left. You can also use your rolled up bolster or blanket if you like, perpendicular with your hips. The reason I suggest using your pillow first is that your rolled up blanket can come in front of you, so that once we fold, you can lie down on top of that. But first we're going to find a proud swan, so walk your hands back, lifting your chest. It's like half pigeon in vinyasa flow, just with a prettier name. And then when you're ready, fold forwards, walking your hands either on either side of your mat or on either side of your bolster or whatever you have to come down on top of. Relax your upper body and take your time. Go very, very slow. As you fold, you're going to feel a lot come up on your inner thigh, your groin, maybe in your piriformis, on the outside of your right butt cheek, the top of your right IT band. Ease your way in. And there's no need to rush to the perfect expression of each pose. There is no perfect expression of each pose. Every asana is an opportunity for you to explore your body. And if you fold it down, again, if you want to bring your chin or your forehead down, you can do that. If you lay one cheek down, I'll let you know when to switch sides. Speaking of the mind-body connection, this is a deep hip opener. It can stir up a lot of emotions because our hips are where we store a lot of stress, a lot of tension. When we swallow our feelings, this is where they tend to reside, in our hips. Also in our liver meridian, but that's a different story. And so when you come into a pose like this, it's a deep hip opener, the effect that it's having on your body really have an impact on how you're feeling and what you're thinking, what you're holding on to, and what you can let go of. While it can be a very stressful pose at first, it can also end up being very soothing. If you laid one cheek down, go ahead and switch sides now. And take about 3 more breaths in your sleeping swan. And after your 3rd breath, on an inhale, walk yourself up, rising gently out of your swan. Now, from here, we did half shoelace. We're going to come into full shoelace. So you can keep a prop underneath your hips if you like. You can remove it. Either way, what's going to happen is you're going to bring your left leg around to the front. And then switch sides. Bring your left foot to the outer edge of your the right side of your mat. And stack your left knee over your right knee. I want to turn so you guys can face me. And again, you can stay sitting on something if you're having issues with your left knee, like some people in this Zoom room. Then you might elect to stay on top of a block or a pillow or a cushion. But essentially, you're folding up your legs just like this. A full shoelace. Now, if you come into your full shoelace, if sitting on something just still doesn't feel right, then you can take that away. But if your left leg still doesn't feel right, then you can stack a book or a block or any other prop up underneath your left leg again, like maybe kickstanding your thigh, or perhaps in between your legs if there's enough space. Whatever's right for you. If your left IT band is really tight, then this is, you're gonna feel it. All right, so I'm gonna stay sitting on a block because my left IT band is very tight right now. Sit up nice and tall. And then on an exhale, twist towards your right side. So you're turning towards the leg, or left side rather. If you're turning towards the leg that's stacked on top. Right? And of like a combination of your deer pose and your half shoelace, twist, all rolled up into one. If the twist is too much on your legs, then you can just stay facing forwards. That's totally cool. One of the things that's so interesting about your full shoelace, your legs are adducted, okay, turning in. This is actually also a deep hip opening pose. It's rather counterintuitive. Take about 3 more breaths here. And slowly come back to face the front. All right, now, from here, you're gonna shift your weight forwards. You're gonna walk your hands up, and if you're sitting on something, then lift your hips up off of your prop. And keep your feet on either side of your hips. Just tuck your toes, and then lift your knees up off of the floor. Now you're gonna turn towards your right side, pivoting around on the balls of your feet, 360 degrees, until you come back to the front with your right knee stacked conveniently on top of your left knee. Shoelace on the other side. It's a fun little transition. If you got lost on the way, it's all good. We're just working towards getting into full shoelace with your right leg on top. So other side of what you just did. And again, you can sit on your block or a pillow or use something to prop up your right leg. In Vinyasa flow, this is called cow face pose. And I always like to call that transition the cow face carousel. So start to settle in, and again, let your legs just kind of make their way into their place. You're kind of letting them marinate here for a little while. Sit up tall, breathe in, and then rotate towards your right. And just like with your deer pose, now using your arm strength to really force yourself into a deeper twist. You don't want to do anything to your right hip. And just finding a gentle twist in your torso, something good for your lower belly. Something good for your stomach and your liver meridians. Your meridians are lines of energy through your body. If you're familiar with chakras, think about them almost like chakras, except instead of spheres of energy, they're lines, like a roadmap where chi travels through your body. Yin focuses on working these meridians, on keeping the roadways of energy clear. Even though you're in this slightly twisted pose, see if you can follow your breath through your body, as if you're envisioning your breath like energy moving through and along these roadways. Take about 3 more breaths. And then slowly come back to the front. Then gently, no tricky transitions this time, and take your right leg off of your left in whatever way makes sense for you. And then you're gonna set up your swan on the other side. So your left knee is gonna stay bent in front of you, and your right leg is gonna move back behind you. Now, if that's uncomfortable for you, which for me right now it is, you can come into a supine figure 4 instead. If you come into your supine figure 4, lie down on your back and stack your left ankle over your right thigh. Pull your right heel towards your glute. And then rest your left hand on your left shin or on your knee. Not really pushing it away, but just resting it there. If you're coming into your swan, don't forget you can use your pillow or your bolster or your blocks underneath your hips. And if you have your rolled up blanket or bolster, you can lay that out in front of you if it's not underneath your hips. And find what's right for you. If you're comfortable and content to stay in your proud swan, then stay lifted. Or walk forwards and fold over your bolster. And come down as far as your body allows. And again, my left leg is having some issues right now, so I can't go down very far. This is actually pretty deep for me, just staying uplifted. You might find as we hold, you can go a little bit further and maybe fold deeper. But try not to push past your edge, rather just coming up to it until it recedes and allows you to go deeper. If you're in your sleeping swan and you laid one cheek down, go ahead and switch sides now. Take about 3 more breaths. If you fold it down, walk your hands back, rise up out of your swan. Bring your right leg around to the front. And then this time, go ahead and lie down on your back. Take your time to get there. You can keep your knees bent for now. Make your way down to your mat. And then once you do, maybe sway your legs side to side. Just windshield wiper, you've done a lot with them in the last hour. And then come to stillness. Gently let your legs go long in front of you. Relax your arms. Relax your shoulders. Make your way to your final Shavasana. And if you want to use any props in your final resting pose, you're more than welcome to do so. Otherwise, just lie perfectly still on your mat. And see if you can find the patience to just not move, not do anything for at least the next few moments. As always, yogis, this is your practice. You're in your space. And I hope that you remain there and enjoy your Shavasana for as long as your body and your life allow. If you do need to move forwards, or if you would like to just sign off with me, then go ahead and start to make your way out of your Shavasana. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a full body stretch. Make your way to an easy seated pose in whatever way makes sense for you. If there's a fetal pose or a pause along the way, then go ahead and take that. Once you arrive, crisscross your legs, sit up nice and tall again. Close your eyes down, take a deep breath in and lift your arms up overhead. And exhale as you bring your hands down to heart center. We'll seal our practice today joining in the sound of Om. First we'll inhale, and then exhale, and then inhale to Om. Inhale. Exhale completely. Inhale to Om. Thank you so much, yogis. I hope you find patience. I hope this was soothing, not just for your body, but for your mind. I hope you're staying safe and healthy out there, and I hope that we get to see each other in real life real soon. Until then, namaste. Thanks, yogis.